About your background with winter sport athletes and what you're doing specifically to get ready for Sochi.
Well, I began as a sprint coach in Canada in the mid-90s, and track and field, or sprinting in particular in Canada, is a very, very difficult endeavor to make a living at, especially back in the 90s. So I started working with bobsledders as basically a means to an end, and that's how I made my living in Canada. Sorry, this is one bad on the mic. Let's start that one again. Starting in the 90s, I started working with a lot of bobsledders in Canada. It was difficult to make a living as a track and field coach in Canada because it's such a winter sport dominated country. And through some of the Canadian bobsledders, I started becoming involved with the American program and signed on actually full-time with them starting in 2001, and then worked with the American program up until the 2006 games in Torino. Signed on with the Canadian program for their home Olympic Games in 2010, and then post the London Olympics in 2012, where I was a member of the Great Britain track and field team as a coach, I've signed back on with the American team, leading them up until the Sochi Games in 2014 here in February.
And I know you feel good about some of the athletes you've worked with. Some of them have been here in Phoenix working with you. Can you talk about that and what you think you have, some of the talented athletes you have going to Sochi?
Some fantastic talents in these sports now in this country, both men's and women's skeleton and bobsled. Specifically in women's bobsled, it's probably the most well-known at this point. As far as a history in the sport, is Alana Myers, who was a bronze medalist in Vancouver and is now a two-time World Championship medalist leading into this games. She's one of the favorites for sure to win a medal in Sochi. Another one would be Katie Eulander, who's a two-time World Cup overall champion and also a world champion from Lake Placid a couple of years ago. Now was a silver medalist in the Sochi test event last year, so she's going to be a real threat in the Sochi Games also.
Right. And you said they trained here in Phoenix with you in April and May. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, we had about an 8 or 10 week camp here in April or May. This is where I'm based now with the World Athletic Center. And they came here and trained with me for about 2.5 months. We had some really good, consistent training with beautiful weather here in Phoenix.
And that training, you've told me, whether it's winter sport athlete or track athletes, is pretty much the same.
Very similar. A bobsledder is essentially a big, strong sprinter. Normally, we draw a lot of our athletes from sprinting. You know, the athletes who are just maybe a little bit too big for sprinting, maybe just a touch too slow, but they make fantastic bobsledders. So we train them very similarly. We train them alongside of our sprinters. They just need to be slightly bigger, so they need to eat a bit more, and slightly stronger, so they need to pay just a little bit more attention to what we're doing in the weight room.
Right.
But the training is extremely simple.
And you're going to Park City now, and you'll work with them, and then you'll be at the Olympics in February.
Right, they're in the middle of their World Team Trials now. Actually, the first race is on Saturday in Lake Placid, and then in 2 weeks' time we have our second set of races in Park City, Utah, and then pretty much the season starts. The World Cup season starts in the middle of November in Calgary, and then continues with Park City and Lake Placid. And there's a couple-week break, and we head over to Europe for the next 2 months leading up to Sochi.